guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. Well, I finally have a new video for you today. This one is I'm going to teach you how to make a snowy day Christmas card the easy way. This doesn't take that long to make. It's a lot of fun to make, and I'm using some things that are retiring and some things that are going to disappear after January 4th but come back next year. So I hope you enjoy the card, and if you want to stamp with me, and I'd love for you to, you can find the dimensions for the card and the supply list by clicking the blog post link in the video description below. If you want to make it, pause the video, we get all your supplies together, and then come back and make the card with me. I'm really excited about this card. I love snowman. When I saw this set, I knew I had to have it. So I hope you have fun making it with me. Okay, are you ready to stamp with me? Let's get started. Now, if you have any questions about the card while watching me make it, please comment below. I'll answer your questions as soon as I can. Okay, let's get started. Okay, the first thing I want to show you is the bundle I'm using. This is a Snow Wonder bundle. Now, the bundle itself is retiring. The bundle will be gone, and the bundle is when you save 10%, purchasing both together. And that ends January 4th, so you've got to hurry to get that. Also, this is going to go away for a little while. It will come back, but if you want to get it this year, make sure you get it before January 4th, because that's the very last day you can get it. It will come back again for the July to December mini catalog. But believe me, you're going to want this. It's a lot of fun. Okay, the dies that we're going to use is a snowman and this greeting here. And I do believe that's all the die cutting we're going to do. So we'll get that out of the way. I'm using something that is retiring. After January 4th, it'll be gone forever. It could be gone before that. It could sell out because it's while supplies last. This is called the Winter Snow embossing folder, and you'll see how neat it is here in a few minutes. But this is a lot of fun, and it is 50% off. So you only have to pay $3.75. Very, very good deal. I love this embossing folder. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, I want you to grab that crumb cake piece. This is a 2 3/4 by 4 inch piece, and we're going to stamp it. This is a rubber stamp set, but I still like using my Stampin' Pierce mat. I think it gives a lot better impression. So we're going to stamp some Christmas trees right along here. So I'm going to grab that tree stamp that's in the set and my shaded spruce ink pad. And we're going to stamp this a couple times. And I knew I was going to have my snowman around here, so I want to have the bigger trees showing about right here. So I'm going to make sure I've got a big tree here. Hold it down for a few seconds. Okay, and then this one, I want to make sure I have a big tree over here. So if there's a gap, that's all right. I just want to have a bigger tree here. Hold that down for a few seconds, and that's ready to go. I'm going to take one of our Stampin' Chalk markers. I love these markers. And I'm going to see all the spaces that aren't green on this. That's snow, and since it's on crumb cake, it's kind of hard to tell it's snow. And I want it to show up a little better. So I'm taking my chalk marker, and all of that blank space, I'm going to color it in with my white chalk marker. And if you noticed, when I first color it in, the white doesn't show up that much, but as I keep going, you're going to see that white get brighter and brighter. I think that's pretty cool. And you don't want to get on the green too much, because it does start to make the green bleed a little bit. So like here, you can see a little bit of green, but I still like the effect. So I'm actually using a light touch. I'm not going to rub it. I'm kind of bouncing it a little bit. It's down here. Up here, there wasn't that much green, so it was okay to just color like usual. But to keep that white, I want to kind of dab it like this so I don't get too much green. And if you do see a little more green, you can always wipe it off your scrap paper and go again. But I'm going to keep doing this till I've got all the snow in the trees. Okay, one thing I want you to notice, see how I'm getting a little more green here and here. This is going to start whitening up, because see how white this got after it sat for a little bit. That is so cool. I'm actually, now that it's starting to dry, I'm going to go over it a little more just to add a little more white to it, and that'll take away a lot of that green. Now, as I was coloring, I got to thinking, oh, that snowman is going to cover up that little one, so I'm not going to worry about that any. But this will start whitening up, and it's going to look really good once we get done. So the reason I'm doing this one first is because I want to get some snowflakes up here. I'm taking the snowflake stamp and using my Craft Whisper White ink pad. This is the old style, but that's okay, it still works. And I'm going to lightly get some white on that and stamp my snowflakes around here. Now, you can make this dry quicker with your heat tool, but I'm just doing it first, and I'm going to set it over to the side, and it should be dry by the time I'm ready. So I thought that just looked really cool. I love that opaque white look on that. Isn't that neat? I really like that a lot. So I'm going to put that over to the side. And one little trick, when I clean this, a lot of times I will use a baby wipe or something like that to get some of the white off, and then use my chamois to get it cleaned off completely. That way I don't get a lot of white on my chamois and it messes it up and I have to clean it. It just makes it a little easier. Okay, so now we've got that to the side. I'm going to put it over here. Now let's go ahead and stamp the snowman. Grab your Whisper White piece that's 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. And we want to grab the Memento ink pad. Get the snowman colored in, inked up. There we go. We are going to color him in. I think this is such a neat snowman. I like it a lot. It's got a vintage feel to it, I think. And I love all the detail they put in it. So there's that. So you could even just leave it like that and not color it, but I wanted to color it. But all that detail is so neat. I love all the shading in that. So I'm going to color it in with my blender pen and some ink pads. So this one's Pretty Peacock. I'm going to squeeze this to get ink into that lid right there. Actually, it's the bottom. This is the lid. Pick up some of the Pretty Peacock color, and I'm going to color in quickly the scarf. You could definitely use blends. We do have a Pretty Peacock blend, but I wanted to have keep with that vintage feel, so that's why I'm using my blender pen instead. And I'm even going to do just a little bit here on the frill part of the scarf. And then I went ahead and I did the hat with the Pretty Peacock too. As you can see, this is coloring very quickly. Whenever I get to a point where it looks like the Pretty Peacock is getting too light, all I have to do is go over and pick up some more ink. Okay, that is all the Pretty Peacock I'm going to do. Go ahead and get that off of my blender pen. See how it's fading away? Now it's completely gone. And I'm going to put my lid over here so I don't lose that. Now I'm going to grab my cherry cobbler, squeeze that. So every time I want to squeeze and get a little of ink in there, color in my little berries right here. Okay. Now the reason I squeeze the ink in here, I don't like putting my blender pen directly on the ink pad because I think it starts making little light spots in my ink pad. So I'd rather take it out of here so I don't hurt my pad any. Okay, now I'm going to grab my pumpkin pie, squeeze it. And that's going to be, of course, for the little carrot nose. We've got to get his carrot nose there. And these colors that I'm picking are from the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper, which sadly is retiring. I was so hoping that would carry over. I love that paper, or at least come back next year, but it's retiring and you want to get that as soon as you can. Then we've got the shaded spruce. Yes, I'm going to be doing that with the, and I already squeezed that and had some ink in there. I knew that I did that earlier. Pick some up here and color in the leaves. And that is all you have to color in for that guy. So it doesn't take that long to color. If you like to color, but sometimes don't have the time, that makes it so easy. You can color a little bit and you get done within a couple minutes. Okay, so he'll be die cut. We'll put him over to the side. And then I also want to grab the little piece of Whisper White. This is a 3 1/4 by 1 1/4 inch piece. I'm going to stamp Happy Christmas in the middle of it and use my Pretty Peacock ink pad again. Stamp that near the middle, and that's going to be die cut. Okay, I think that's all the stamping. Actually, there is some stamping on the inside. Let's go ahead and get all the stamping done. Put that over to the side. Grab that big piece of Whisper White that you have. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. You want to grab the wreath stamp and the memento pad again. And I stamped this down here on the bottom left corner. Once again, if you don't want to color that in, you can just leave it the black because I think that's pretty too. And let's go ahead and grab the Pretty Peacock again. I forgot I needed that one more time. And this saying is also in the stamp set. I love that there's a greeting for the inside too. So sending you blessings, peace, and magic this Christmas season. And I'm going to stamp that right about here. Hold it down. There we go. And I love the font. Isn't that, oh, that's just, I love it. I get into fonts sometimes. I think that's a very pretty one. Okay, now we're going to quickly color this in. It's not going to take long at all. Take my shaded spruce again. And I think I better squeeze it again to get a little more ink. There we go. I'll make sure I have enough ink. And I color all these leaves in real quick. It's okay, I'm not going to worry about shading. If you leave a little white, that is okay. That actually gives you that watercolor look. And it'll kind of look like there's might be a little snow on that wreath. So we haven't had any snow here in Indiana. Well, we've had little spits of snow, I guess you could say, but nothing has really accumulated. But I'm sure that will change. You can see I'm not being real particular, making sure I do every little leaf by itself. I'm just going right over it. See, we've got a little bit above that bow there. There we go. So that's all the green that we need to do. So we'll clean this off. You always want to clean it off between colors. You definitely don't want to mix, unless you want to mix the colors. But if you don't want to mix the colors, which I don't think I've ever done that, you'll want to make sure you clean it off every time. This is my cherry cobbler. Oops, it looks like I missed a little of the shaded spruce. I'll come back and do that here in a minute. And the other neat thing, the shading that's in all the detail in the stamp actually makes it look like you're doing a bunch of shading as you're coloring. But the stamp did all the work for you. So that's pretty cool too. Because even though I didn't do a lot of shading, it looks like there is because of all the detail in that stamp. Get this one cleaned off. I'm going to bring in that shaded spruce one more time. I know there's enough ink in there. Get those leaves underneath there. I missed those. Okay, now it looks pretty good. Clean that off. And I always, even when I am all done, I always clean that off because I don't want to surprise the next time I pick that pen up when I want to make another project. Okay, so there's all the stamping. So that's the inside of the card. We'll put that in here in just a minute. And now I'm going to get my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and we'll do some die cutting and some embossing. Okay, I've got my Stampin' Emboss and Cut out. We're going to emboss first. So I'm going to grab my platform number 1. And we need a standard cutting plate down next. Then you want to grab that square piece of Seaside Spray. This is a 3.5 by 3.5 inch piece. And I'm going to emboss it with the Winter Snow embossing folder. And this is what I was telling you about earlier, that it's retiring and it's even 50% off. So these are going to fly off the shelves really fast. It's only $3.75 right now. So you want to make sure you get that before it's gone. Because our while supplies last, or until January 4th, whichever comes first. So we just put this in. You don't have to worry about it being totally straight because these snowflakes are all over the place. We don't have any straight lines with this one. But you still want to put that in, fold first. And then put a second standard cutting plate on top. Run that through. And that's all you need to do to emboss. So if you have never embossed before, the folders make it so easy. So isn't that pretty? I love that. Okay, so now we're going to do some die cutting. So we need the platform number 1 still. And now we need to add the die plate number 2. This will make it a little more pressure for the dies. Then put the standard cutting plate back down. I'm going to grab these 2 guys right here. Get both my snowman and my greeting. I'm going to grab, this one here and just lay it down nice and easy. And then I'm going to grab my snowman. Actually looks more like a snow woman, but that's okay, with the little holly on there. Okay, so we've got those ready to go. I could use washi tape, and I've got some right here with me in case I need it. I'm going to try it without it first. Lay this down. Just make sure you hold it all down with your hands. That still looks pretty good. The Merry Christmas moved on me a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it. That still looks good. The snowman is definitely still in place. So I'm just holding that down. Once it gets underneath the center, then you don't have to hold it down anymore. So I've got my Happy Christmas. See, that die cut just fine. And I've got my cute snowman. So we're done with the die cutting machine, and I'll be back to put this card together. Okay, now we're going to finish this beauty up. Take your card base, which is Seaside Spray. It's 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to fold this in half. Let me grab my bone folder. Get those corners lined up. When the corner's lined up, then you know you've got it folded right. That nice crisp crease with that bone folder. Put that to the side. Now I'm going to grab a piece of Pretty Peacock. This is 4 by 5.25 inches. and grab a piece of the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper. Isn't that pretty? And here's the other side. There's so many different colors in this. If you haven't seen this, I think I've shown it in a few videos, but I love this plaid paper. I'm going to miss it like crazy. But this is while supplies last, and I have a funny feeling this one is going to disappear before January 4th. So make sure you get that right away. Okay, I'm grabbed my wrong one. I don't need seal, plus need the regular seal. I'm going to put that across the middle of my pretty peacock piece. I love these two kinds. I know this looks muted, but it's going to look so pretty with that snowman on top. I just thought that was so pretty. I could have gone with the lighter color, but I just thought that looked really neat like that. Now we're going to put this on the center. Oops, didn't cut the adhesive very well. There we go. Make sure I get it in that corner, because you definitely don't want those corners popping up on you. Oops, I didn't cut it very good that time. Every time that happens, just wheel this up till you see the adhesive, and then it works just fine. Put this right here in the middle. And if I don't get it right in the middle, that's okay. I can pull it back up again the first 10 minutes. Seal doesn't become permanent for about 10 minutes. Okay, now we're ready to put this pretty snowflake embossed piece that we just did. And this is going to go on the center of the card. I didn't get enough in that corner. Like I said, you always want to make sure you have some in those corners, because that's where it'll be popping up the quickest. Put it right there in the center of the card. And then we are going to grab the crumb cake piece and see how I got a little wider. It really is neat how that chalk works. And my snowflakes up here are dry. So I would, if you make these cards, I would definitely do this piece first, and then by the time you're ready for it again, the ink will be dry. If not, you can always use the heat tool. Now I'm going to put this right in the middle, like so. Okay. Now we're going to take the Happy Christmas. It's funny, there are times I was like, I don't know why they do Happy Christmas. We always say Merry Christmas. I was watching a Christmas movie the other day, and in England and in the years ago, they used to say Happy Christmas a lot. So I'm like, okay, now I know why. Now, I don't know if they still do that in England or not, but I just know the movie I was watching, they were all saying Happy Christmas. I'm like, okay, Stampin' Up! Just didn't come up with that. So we've got the Happy Christmas on there. Now we want to grab the this cute snowman. I'm going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. Put one here, and since this is a little fatter down here, I'm going to do two, so it doesn't wobble on me, and I don't want this to collapse, so we'll put one right there in the middle. Grab my Take Your Pick tool. Scoop these up. That way I don't have them flying all over my house. They're all together. Put them in my dish. And then we are going to put him right here. I want him in between these two big trees. So that's how I was like, I didn't even have to bother coloring in that middle one. I forgot I covered him up. So there we go. And make sure you don't cover up the greeting, of course, but I did want it to kind of overlap. So there's the front, and then we'll grab the piece that we just did for the inside. Pop this in the inside, and we will be done with this card. Now with this Seaside Spray, it is a lighter color, so if you don't want to have an extra layer, you don't need to. You can still write on the inside, but I just thought it made it look extra special adding an inside to it. Get that in the center. And there's a special inside. Plenty of room to write your name and all your family's names in it and mail it out. So if you love snowmen, make sure you get this Snow Wonder bundle before it disappears January 4th. That'll be the last day. And like I said, the bundle will disappear. You'll still be able to buy the stamp set and the dies starting in July for the July to December mini catalog. Well, I hope you had fun making this card. I really love this one. I've had this one for a while and just haven't been able to get a video going, so I hope you had a lot of fun making it. And if you want to stamp with me again, please subscribe to my channel below and make sure to click that bell icon after you hit the subscribe button and select all. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. If you want to see more of my creations, you want to follow me on my blog, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, and you can find those links below in the video description. Now, if you live in the United States and do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours. These are the 2 current catalogs right now, and I'd be happy to mail these out. And I forgot to grab the Spring Mini, the one that's actually called January to June. I will mail that out to you too. So you can get the holiday catalog, the annual catalog, and the January to June mini catalog mailed out to you. And so anybody in the United States, that is, I can only do business with people in the U.S. Just click on the contact me below in the video description, and don't miss out on earning a $50 shopping spree on me. You can find out about my Doily Rewards program in the link below too, marked Doily Rewards. Well, it's time to go. Let me show you that card one more time. Please help support my channel by giving me a thumbs up and commenting below. I really do appreciate it. See you in the next video. Merry Christmas.